Greetings friends, Assault Terminators, they've had a new reveal today. There's pros, there are cons, let's dive right into it. So, if you've been under a rock today, you may have noticed that Assault Terminators are an unstoppable force and an immovable object all in one package. So, 10th edition, we got the regular Terminators brought back. 11th edition, or I guess this tail end of 10th, we're going to see a return of the Assault Terminators. So, they shared this new picture today, which shows that they can obviously still have the Teleport Homer and Thunderhammer and Storm Shield on every model. Here's an uncontroversial opinion for you. Power Fists are awesome. They're the mainstay of the classic Terminator package, tried and tested for more than 10,000 years. But something smooshing people in your giant crackling hand isn't enough. Maybe it's a little overkill and maybe you have the ability to strike faster. Maybe there's a little underkill and you need something that will break through those extra thick skulls. Space Marines are smart and they figured out long ago enlisting Assault Terminators for those days when you need a real blender in close combat. And now they're back. Well, let's hope that they have some new rules, because right now they are most certainly not a blender. If we just look at the Thunderhammers, right, at the moment there are 3 attacks with a 4-up weapon skill, 8 to 2 dev wounds. So if you plug that into Liberator Assault Group, so 5 models, 3 attacks which will go to 4 from the Liberator Assault Group, strength 8 will go to 10, 2, 2, into something like a unit of Death Shroud. These guys, they're 180 points at the moment. They are only statistically killing 2 Death Shroud, even though they've got dev wounds, an extra attack, 2 extra strength. You compare that right now to the recently buffed Sanguinary Guard. Those Sanguinary Guard, 3 models with spears now, they're actually killing 260. So they're killing the same 2 models. They're actually doing 43% of the whole units. Health, where the Terminators are only doing 34. So, as we go further into this article, bear in mind that the current configuration of the Thunderhammers is terrible. The loss of the... If we go back 2 editions, Thunderhammers used to be, I think, AP 3 and 3 damage. They lost 1 AP, now they lost 1 damage. They're not in a good space at all, right? So Thunderhammers and Storm Shields transform the already intimidating Terminators into a veritable brick wall of death, marching into the melee to smash Xenos and Heretics alike into the ground like fence posts. They deal an immense amount of damage and we'll see if they deal an immense amount of damage. They certainly do not at the moment. They can rush right up to the thickest armor while their shields act an extra wound, which soaks up even more firepower. The fact that they mentioned the shields getting an extra wound is a little bit disappointing, because there's so much 2 damage in the game at the moment. I'm sure everybody knows there's so much 2 damage in the game that having an extra wound, moving from like 3 wounds to 4 wounds in a lot of situations is completely negligible. In fact, it's the same with Dante, right? Dante has 6 wounds, Jump Pack Captains have 5 wounds. There's literally no difference. You know, it's like maybe into like 3 damage weapons or 1 damage weapons, but for the most part, the extra wound is going to come up very unoften. I like the new poses, but I think the thing that stands out to me straight away is like, these are generic Terminators. Like, all the blood, like if you want to run these as Blood Angels, you're going to have to get the upgrade sprue. Is the current upgrade sprue good enough to make these guys feel more Blood Angels? So if we dive into the current upgrade sprue, yes, we get 5 left shoulder pads that are for Terminators. I believe it is these 5 here. And what it says is we get the 5 Terminator left shoulder pads. We get a Stormbolter, which we won't be able to use. We get the bare helmet. Fine. We get 1 helmeted head. We get an alternative chest piece. And we get an alternative arm with a power sword. So realistically, you've got the 5 default shoulder pads with the Blood Angels emblem. You've got the alternate chest piece and you've got the head. So the alternate chest piece is this with a couple of blood drops. The head is the one with the sort of like targeting bionic eye, whatever you want to say. And you're going to probably need this for the transfers that it comes with, because this new box of Terminators is not going to come with transfers. Let's move on a little bit further. If on the other hand you need to kill lots of things rather than just a few things, well, there's still the option of Lightning Claws. So double Lightning Claws. Let's have a little talk about that for a second. So if we look at those Lightning Claws, it's going to be 5 models. That's going to be 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, 5, 2, 1, twin linked, right? So 5 models, 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, 5, 2, 1, Liberator Assault Group, reroll wounds. We're going to fight this time Grey Knight Terminators, toughness 5, which is the breakpoint obviously, because they're going to be strength 5. They'll get +2 strength from Liberator Assault Group, so it'll be wounding on 3s. So calculate the damage probability. This unit of Terminators, 5 guys, lightning claws, 180 points. They will kill almost 3 Terminators. Almost 3. Take the same unit of Blade Guard, right? 10 points cheaper. You get 6 models. They still have 5. They still have 3. They also have the same strength. This time they have the same AP, but they also have an extra damage on every swing. Same Liberator Assault Group. This time Blade Guard reroll hits of 1, right? That's their like Sword of the Imperium rule. They don't reroll wounds, but they reroll hits of 1s. Calculate damage. That Blade Guard unit that is 10 points cheaper is going to end up doing 93% of the unit's whole health, whereas Lightning Claws are going to do 60%. I guess into 1 damage enemies, then Lightning Claws are probably going to be the victor here. But how many 1 damage enemies, how many times is 1 damage really a massively meaningful amount of damage? I guess that's a question, right? So if we need to kill lots of things, it's going to be the Lightning Claw Terminators. The question there is, in the situation of getting stuff that deals with 1 damage, would you not just rather have the 10-point cheaper Blade Guard that are more versatile and can kill more things? It's going to be interesting to know if this unit can mix and match, because we could mix and match before, right? We could take, let's say, 3 Thunderhammers and 2 guys with Lightning Claws and have a unit that can do a bit of everything. That was common last edition. We don't know. So rather than going for all-out damage, these lethal talons are for slicing through chaff when combat is more a numbers game. Kind of ironically, if you take that unit of Lightning Claws and put them back into the Death Shroud that we fought at the very start of the video, they actually only kill very slightly less, 31% of the unit compared to, I think it was 34%. I'll correct that in the edit if that's incorrect. So, Lightning Claw Terminators. They're the equivalent of strapping 4 power swords to each hand, and a unit of these champions can murder or butcher entire blobs of orcs, tyranids, or lesser demons. Jury's out on that one. Let's see. Again, Lightning Claw Terminators, they look pretty cool. The heraldry for me is a big issue though, right? Because these sets of new Primaris Marines massively, like, they just completely lack any unique Blood Angels heraldry. And when I'm going to get to my pros and cons in a minute, that's going to have to be factored in here, right? So each squad of 5 miniatures comes with 6 unhelmeted heads, 5 helmeted heads, 5 tilting plates. These are these little plates that you can sometimes put up here. They're completely vanity, right? They don't actually add anything to the model. 15 additional accessories split between Purity Seals, Awesome Moment, other small badges. The Sergeant also gets their own choice of 2 heads, a special Storm Shield variant, and I guess there was one guy that has like a bigger Storm Shield. Potentially that one, I think. So the Storm Shields are going to be a bit bigger. Terminator armor is only assigned to those of proven track record of excellence in battle, and senior officers and veterans take it to the field. Ancients have been known to don it in particular perilous battlefields so they can protect their company's banner while combat rages around them. So we've got a new Terminator Ancient with a Stormbolter and a Power Sword, which is interesting because normally I think the Terminator Ancient used to have a Lightning Claw or a Thunderhammer, so maybe they've changed his weapon options slightly. These new combatants will be available first in a new box set called the Crux Terminatus Battle Force, named for the symbol of veterancy adorning every Terminator's left shoulder, which legend says contains a minuscule fragment of the Emperor's old armor. That's, back in the day, that was how those guys got their invulnerable save. There was a bit of the Emperor's armor in their shoulder, projected like a magical aura around them, made them get their 4-up invuln save. Not only do you get 10 new Assault Terminators in the box, you get the Assault you get the Ancient in Terminator armor, but you also get 5 regular Terminators, a Chaplain in Terminator armor, and a Captain in Terminator armor. So it's a decent portion of your first company right there. So you're getting basically all the Terminators, I think, that you got in the Leviathan box. The Captain, the Chaplain, 5 regular Terminators, and then you're getting 10 Assault Terminators and the new Ancient. And this is actually like 20, it says 21 models. I think the teleport homers are being counted here because it's 15, 18, yeah. So it's 18 Terminators, 21 if you include the teleport homers. I was trying to think, like, the combat patrol for Blood Angels, for example, was like 17 models, a captain, 6 and 10. So this is probably going to be on the price of a combat patrol. I think that is 100 UK pounds, or £80 if you buy it from like Element Games using like an affiliate link, and there is always one in the video description. There's also a new dedicated Terminator transfer sheet comprising over 500 individual decals for Ultramarines, Salamanders, Fists, Scars and Raven Guard, as well as plenty of generic icons and honours for campaigns, checkered patterns, numerals and scripture. So nothing Blood Angels on this transfer sheet. So if you do just buy this, you cannot put any, you do not have any Terminator specific Blood Angels Terminator stuff. You would need an upgrade sprue, or you would need an old transfer sheet that you could take some off. This has been a standard for a few releases now, where we are not seeing Blood Angels transfers on the standard transfer sheet. The Battle Force will be arriving soon, so that usually means like a month or something. Individual release for the new kits arriving shortly afterwards. So that was the big Terminator reveal that came out today. So let's dive in and let's talk about some pros and cons as I see it. So thanks so much to YouTube for sending this over this week. I'm pretty chuffed to get it. I guess I'm now a partner with 20,000 subscribers. So let's talk some pros and cons, and I think there is some for this release. Like, the pro number one would be we can just use our existing models, right? Like, existing models, because none of the weapon options has changed. No one needs to throw their old models in the bin. In fact, I believe the new Terminators side by side with the old ones are very, very similar in size. So don't judge me, I actually haven't finished building any of the new ones, but here is an old one side by side, here is an old one side by side, and here are some of the shooting ones that I currently have, like both our chainsword ones side by side. So yeah, sure, the new ones are a little bit bigger, but I think no one's going to really complain if you're using these in tournament play. Some of them, they're exact same size. The bases are the exact same size. So, and with everything being these L-shaped ruins of a certain height now, I really think that that is a great thing. It doesn't matter if your model's 10 millimeters smaller than the old one. You're still, you know, you're going to be able to use that model fine. I think no one's going to complain if you have a unit of Terminators that aren't the new kits. So your existing models are going to still be usable. I think that's a great plus. I'm going to go with rules next, because I think that the current weapon options, the Lightning Claw and the Thunderhammer, for lack of a better word, they completely suck. Like, I just don't think this is a good unit. I don't think it's viable in competitive play. Maybe someone's using it somewhere, but I think the rules, maybe I should have just written rules rather than Lightning Claw and Thunderhammer, but the rules in general, the Battle Shock rule as well, the Assault Terminator rule is pretty bad. They're also kind of pricey. They're more expensive than the Terminators with bolt guns, and the ones with bolt guns are better. So, in general, their weapons suck. They're too expensive, right? Can't write today. Too expensive. So 2 cons there. The next thing that's probably a con for me is lack of Blood Angels transfers in the box. So even if I buy the £100 battle box, then I get no Blood Angels transfers. So like, there's no Blood Angels transfers. And also, in general, I guess my feeling is, don't judge my spelling, that I am not a huge fan of these new generic kits when our upgrade sprues are lackluster. I think this happened with the Sangre Guard, it happened with the Death Company, where I think we can probably all say that some of the upgrade kits, like, I still like the Firstborn upgrade sprue. Like, if you've got that Firstborn upgrade sprue, it's so good. So, they're generic. God, I didn't think I was going to have as many cons as this, but here they come. So they're generic. They have a generic feel to them. I'm not a huge fan of that. We'll probably talk about the box. If the box is priced at $100 for all 18 of them, that is 3 squads of Terminators, 3 characters, then that would be very good value. So I think, you know, Terminator squads have always been kind of more expensive. They have been always more unique. So potentially there is some really good value. If you don't have Terminators and you need to buy this box, that's probably going to be some great value. You're probably going to be saving somewhere in the region of, like, if it's 40 or 50 bucks for a squad of Terminator and it's like 30 bucks per character, you could potentially be saving like $100 buying this box. So there's potentially like some really good value in that Crux Terminatus Battle Force box. Side point on that is, like, it's a little bit annoying. You have to wait to buy individual models or kits before they get released, like, separately from the big box, But I'm not going to put that down as a con. That feels like me really picking. That's the way it works now. You get the big box, and then maybe like a month or two later, you can buy the individual boxes. So you'll be able to buy like 5 Assault Terminators before too long. I think one of the other main things that I really like is not retiring ranges, like updating ranges. So while I've said the existing models can probably be used, we are also not retiring anything here, which I really do appreciate, because, you know, it sucks to spend a lot of time on models and then have them retired. So I think everything that we have will be viable again. And because these kits are modular, right, that's the advantage of... I assume they're modular. They actually didn't say, but I think they will be modular if they're getting individual release box. If they're modular, then we'll be able to do customizations and kit bashes. So that's... It's probably somewhere in the region of equal on the pros and cons. The cons are probably more about the fact that the rules have just been kind of bad for Blood Angels. I don't know any chapters that are... there's a fly in my room. Any chapters that are loving regular Assault Terminators. Like, the Wolfguard Terminators are just much better. The Deathwatch Knights are just much better. They just have better rules that keep them alive longer, and Terminators are not that stoic, and that extra wound from the Storm Shield doesn't feel massively meaningful at only toughness 5. So I've seen a few people ask if they think that this Blood Angels Terminator Assault Squad will go away when this new Terminator kit releases. And I think based on the fact that Sangre Guard went away, Death Company went away, I would say I really think they will go away. Like I've shown you, these models are not that much smaller. They are dripping in customizations for Blood Angels. I think even maybe just buying one of these kits now, because here's the thing, right? If you go to eBay right this second, you will find Firstborn Sangre Guard are now 3 times the price they were. So I guess the question is, how valuable are all these super old kits with their glorious, like, every little bit on this guy, like the Archangel on his back, this wing thing, these are all modular, right? These can all be transported onto those new kits and make them just much more exciting. I mean, you could even cut the Thunderhammers, like the heads of the Thunderhammers off and replace them. You could do a little bit of pinning there, and the shields, like this shield is just, it's a large shield. I can't imagine you wouldn't be able to make that large shield work on one of the Terminators. The banner as well, like, I'm pretty sure that I am going to go ahead and buy one of these kits now. I've had these kits before. I think they're awesome. If we look at some of these sprues here, right, like the Terminator shoulder pads, going off the fact that like all Firstborn shoulder pads are compatible, I think that probably these are going to be compatible with the new Terminators. I mean, they haven't said so, but they probably will be. And you've got like 6 unique Blood Angels ones here. You have some unique shields. Even if these shields look a little bit small on Terminators, there's a rumor about Vanguard veterans coming out. These shields would look dope on your Vanguard, your Primaris Vanguard veterans. I mean, Terminators are bigger than regular Marines, right? So I think there's a lot of reusableness here. And then where was our other one? And then this is the other sprue that you would get in that Firstborn. And get the huge big Blood Angels banner. You could definitely transpose that onto the Ancient. Some of these little the shoulder things, I forgot what we call them now, but they'll have blood drops and stuff on them. Again, more kick-ass shoulder pads. These things you can stick on like blood drops and grails that you can stick just behind their heads. Like I said, you could easily cut the top off those Thunderhammers and transpose them, depending on how much effort you want to go in. I was half thinking about buying this. I think now that I've looked at it, I think I'm probably going to buy this. They are still in stock on Element Games. There'll be a link in the video description where you can save some money and get them a little bit cheaper in Element Games. So I think it's great that they haven't retired anything. I much prefer this, but like I think that if you want your Blood Angels models to really stand out and be Blood Angels, it's going to benefit you something awful. Like, it's going to be so good to have that Firstborn kit just sitting there, even if you don't build any of them right now. The options that is going to give you, yes, it's a little bit expensive, but I mean, I remember when you had to buy Blood Angel Terminator shoulder pads from Forge World, and I think you were like 20 bucks for 10 anyway. So this just gives you options, gives you those 5 Storm Shields as well. If you can afford it, And the power fists on these guys, these guys' power fists had really cool, like, they all have the Blood Angels heraldry on them. I definitely feel like the new kit is nice, but again, it's stepping into that generic a little bit more than I like. And then in terms of the proof being in the pudding, look, here's Sangre Guard. This kit used to be like 25 bucks. eBay, 55. Here's two of them, 161. Here's another one, 94. Like, the retail on this, I'm pretty sure was 25. So if you do have those Firstborn Sangre kits, there's so much good bits inside them. The wings, the shoulders, the helmets. It's the same with the Terminators. Like, if I do not... I already got 10 Assault Terminators. I got 5 with Thunderhammers, 5 with Lightning Claws. At some point, inevitably, I'm going to make some of these new ones, the bigger ones. Am I going to kick myself for not having those really customized, really cool Blood Angels parts? I feel like I know what the answer is. I'm sure you guys know what the answer is. So I think that about does it. It's going to be Vanguard Veterans next. The rumor was that those Assault Terminators and the Vanguard Veterans were going to be the 11th edition box set. Maybe that's all changed then if the Terminators are getting released right now. I hope these guys have new rules, because the Thunderhammers are just, they're the worst, honestly. So leave me a comment if you know more. Give me your feedback on if you are going to buy any of the old boxes. I think I'm away to go buy an old box right now. I need a couple of new paintbrushes anyway, so there's an excuse to put an order in, get free shipping from Element Games, that sort of thing. Guys, have a great week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday night against Death Guard. By the blood, Arm Made Strong. Peace.